We'll let a few people roll up on in here before we get into this conversation. Because I know somebody's going to be like, oh, where does it say that? Where does it say that? I can't wait. Because I literally have my Bible sitting right here next to me. So I'm just waiting for the first person to say something like, oh, it's not in there. It's not in there. Okay, let's see. Let's see about that. Because one thing I'm always going to do is provide receipts. If I said it, I have receipts for it. If I agreed with something, I have receipts for it. So I'm just waiting. Because I'm pretty sure this last video, it definitely got a lot of views on it, like last second. So I wonder if that one person in the comments that was up there talking all that crazy stuff, I wonder if they're going to pop up. Because that's not what happened. Okay, well, if that's not your understanding, then what happened, dearie? Provide some context. Provide something to show your education on the matter, since I don't know. And if y'all are wondering what I'm referring to, go back and watch my last video and pop back in. Because again, I wanted to start breaking down certain stories and different things in the Bible after watching one of my followers do it. I know you guys have seen her viral videos. If you don't follow her, if you haven't seen it, definitely go back and watch it, because it's definitely a lot of education, a lot of knowledge in there. But I just don't understand why people are literally trying to argue with what it says. Like, this is the same book that y'all throw at people to say, oh, this is the word, this is the word, this is the truth, this is the truth. But then when we use that same book to discredit the truth that you're trying to give to us, then it's, oh, you're misunderstanding it. What is there to misunderstand? What am I not understanding when I'm reading the same scriptures, the same Bible as you? What am I not understanding? Because it's right there in Genesis. It's the first book of the fucking Bible. It's the first book of the Bible. How am I not understanding what I just read? I don't understand. It's literally Genesis 11. We're not even 20 in. It's Genesis 11, 1 through 9. What am I not understanding about the Tower of Babel? What am I not understanding? Because for people to sit up there and say, oh, that's not what happened in the Bible. God didn't do that. God didn't do that. That's exactly what he did. God saw that the people were actually coming together and building a tower because they said they wanted to make a name for themselves, and they wanted to build a tower that reached the heavens. God came down and said, oh, the people are one. They are coming together. Oh shit, this is a problem. And literally created the languages that we have today. God created language to divide because he was worried, which doesn't make sense for him to be omnipotent and all-knowing, which means when you created man, you knew that they were eventually going to do this and still got upset about it and decided to create language to create division. That does not make sense to me. That does not make sense to me. And how am I not understanding that correctly when I'm literally reading it right here? I'm reading it right here. How am I not understanding that? How am I not understanding that correctly? Because when I saw my follower make her video on the matter, I have already read this story, so I know. I've already read the story, so I immediately was like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Because I always wondered, where did all these languages come from? How did we have all of these different languages? And that is the story that comes up. That is the reason why we have different languages. So I've always known about the story of the Tower of Babel. I've always had a very good understanding of it because I've always questioned, where did all these different languages come from? So now that this video has gone viral and people are bringing it up, now everyone wants to say, oh, you're not understanding the text correctly. You're not understanding what it says correctly. How am I not understanding this correctly? How am I not understanding it correctly? What am I not interpreting correctly? God literally said, oh, these people is actually coming together. They are actually one. This is a problem for me. And like she said in her original video, it should have been a laughing matter if God is really this powerful person and can do the things that he does and says. Like, if he is all knowing, all powerful, someone making allegations of, oh, I'm going to build a tower high enough to reach the heavens, that would be laughable to an almighty, all powerful, omnipotent God. That would be laughable. That would, like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'll see you when you get here. Like, come on now. Make it make sense. That don't make no sense to me. If he knows what's going to happen before it happens, why get mad when it happens? Why get mad when it happens? I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. And I've yet to have one person explain it to me without getting in their feelings and telling me that I'm not understanding it correctly. And if I'm not understanding it correctly, explain it to me without getting in your feelings. Because I'm not emotionally attached. I'm not understanding. Guys, I'm not doing readings right now, obviously. My head is not covered. I'm not doing readings right now. So if you guys are wanting to get readings with me, you need to go on my website and book. Go to the link in my bio and book. Right now, I am talking about the last video that I just posted, my duet with my follower. So again, someone please help me understand how I am misinterpreting the story of the Tower of Babel. And again, if you are wanting to join the conversation and chime in with something intellectual, perfectly fine. Let's talk about it. Help me understand and help the people understand if I'm not understanding it correctly. Let's have a conversation about it. Let's get facts on the table. But I'm literally looking at it right here. I'm looking at it right here in my Bible again. And if you're wanting to read along and chime in on the conversation, this will be Genesis 11, 1 through 9, talking about the story of the Tower of Babel. I'm only because this video has gotten so many views. I'm just waiting for one person who's got some type of intellectual something to bring to the table. Unless you do, I don't want to have a conversation with you. Because I don't want to hear bigotry. I don't want to hear someone's opinions. I want to hear facts straight from the book itself. I want to hear facts because I know how to read and I know what I see here in black and white. And it says God created different languages because of this tower that was built. It's as simple as that. Like, it's literally that cut and dry. And for someone or anyone to try to argue that point, you're misinterpreting. You're missing the point. You're not understanding your own text that you're trying to throw in other people's face. And that's what bothers me so much about Christians. They don't even understand what they're reading themselves and then try to shove it down someone else's throat. You're not making sense. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, how you doing? But yeah, I'm just not understanding that. I know exactly what I read here. And even though it is old biblical text and sometimes it can be hard to read or like hard to like try to put it all together because of the old language. But I read this bitch like 5-6 times. I know I'm not crazy. I know what I read and I know how to interpret what I read. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm just waiting for someone to, I guess, help me understand, because there are so many people in the original creator's video, and there was one person who popped up in my comment section so far from what I saw. There was one person who popped up saying that's not what happened in the Bible. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna talk about it because this video is getting a lot of traction and I want to have a intellectual conversation about it. Because again, I'm sitting right here with my Bible. Okay? Because a lot of people assume just because I'm a root worker that I don't use the Bible, which does not make sense because I digress. That's a different conversation. But again, with me being a root worker and practicing spirituality, that does not mean that I do not use the Bible. I actually use the Bible quite extensively in my practice. That is the reason why I know what I'm reading, because I use it in my practice. So for people to be like, oh, see, you're just demonic, I use and read the Bible all the time. Number one Bible y'all need to read is period. Okay? Period. The only I can't even put that in a better way. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Because at the end of the day, God is within all of us. God created us in his image, right? So therefore we are him. Are we not? So the best thing that you can do is use your discernment that the good Lord gave you. Y'all want to sit up here and go based off of text that was rewritten over and over and over and over and over by man, but you don't even want to go with the God within yourself, which is crazy to me. But when I say things like that, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Your book says that. Your trusty, dusty, holy Bible says that. And apparently God gave the words to the men to write the books and the stories in the first place. So here we go again. It's not making sense. So was God wrong for giving them the words? I don't. And this is why she made that series. The Bible doesn't make sense, because it doesn't. There are so many stories and examples that don't make literal sense. And then, of course, people want to say, oh, that's because it's not meant to be taken literally. It's meant to be figurative. It's meant to be symbolic. Which one is it? Because y'all switch up so much that it still don't make sense. How are you supposed to make sense of it all? How are you supposed to know what is literal, what is figurative, what is symbolic? Like, how are you supposed to know? Nobody can answer that question for me. I've been asking this question since I was a Jehovah's Witness and I was going to the Kingdom Hall regularly. The elders of the Kingdom Hall could not answer that question for me. Same thing, like I said, when I first started this live. Again, if God is all knowing and knows that everything was going to turn out the way that it's turned out throughout life, throughout history, God knew all of this before everything was created. So if God knew that all of this was going to happen, why did he still let it happen and then get upset about it happening? Hey, T. But yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me. If he knew all of this was going to happen, why would he get upset about it happening? Oh, because of free will. That's the biggest load of crap. That is the biggest load of crap that you can tell me. Oh, it's because of free will. God intervenes all the goddamn time. God intervenes all the time. No words from friend. No, not yet. Not yet. I was going to try and call her again. I haven't heard from her just yet. I am working on trying to get in contact with somebody else that might be able to help you. I have not forgotten about you. Trust me. Like I said, after what you know where we at. After I saw that, you know me, I'm on a mission. I have not forgotten about you. But yeah, it just don't make no sense to me. And like I said, ever since like I was a Christian and regularly attending, none of the elders, nobody could ever answer my questions, and they would always deem me as disrespectful for asking said questions. But my thing is, if you are going to study something, if you are going to be of a certain lifestyle, which would be Christianity, being a Christian. What is that on the ceiling? Oh, that's paint. I was gonna say, is that a book? I was gonna lose it. But again, if you are going to be of a certain lifestyle, a certain religion, you would have to study it, would you not? And to study would mean to ask questions. How am I disrespectful for trying to get an understanding of what I am supposed to be practicing? That makes no sense to me. Here we go again. Cool. Also answer that meant I don't know. Something about that just don't sit right with me. If someone is wanting to have you come into their congregation, learn the word of God, learn about God and his teachings, that would mean that you would have to ask questions. And I don't understand how asking questions can be deemed as disrespectful if this is what I'm supposed to be learning, if this is the lifestyle that I'm supposed to be learning, if these are the teachings that I'm supposed to be learning. I would have to be a good student, you have to ask questions. You have to ask questions. So again, if me at the time being a Christian and trying to understand the practices and teachings of God, I would have to ask questions. So therefore, me asking questions, how was that disrespectful? Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, asking questions is the only way to learn something. You have to be able to have that dialogue with somebody. So if you go to a church, like any place of worship, and you start asking the people of that congregation questions and they start getting offended rather than educating you, that's a problem for me. That is a problem for me. That does not make sense to me. Hold on, they failed the test because answering questions is part of the test. If any church member gets offended, that means they have no idea. Thank you. And that's kind of my point. Like, people who are getting defensive about that video that I posted, you're getting defensive because you don't know yourself. You don't know yourself. You have no clue. Again, I'm sitting here literally with it right now. Right before I went live, I said, you know what? I'm going to sit here and read it. I got a video sitting in my drafts for the one person who sat up there and left a comment in my comment section saying, oh, laughing emoji. That's not what happened. Oh, okay. Educate me then. Life is literally that quick. Period. Hey, Phil. What's going on? Hey. How you doing? But yeah, that just does not make sense to me. Like, what am I not understanding? She broke it down in layman's terms, for lack of a better term, in more simplistic terms. But again, I can't see what the other guy is saying. Wait, what? I can't see what the other guy is saying. He's blocking me. I'm lost. I don't know what just happened. But yeah, like I said, she broke it down in a way that was just so simplistic and modern. There we go. It was simplistic and modern, but it was an accurate description of the story of the Tower of Babel. There was no misunderstanding what she said because it was exactly what the text says. Because again, I sat here and read it 3 times. And first of all, like I said at the beginning of my life, I always understood and knew the story of the Tower of Babel because I always asked, why are there different languages? Why are there so many languages? I've always known about this story, and it's always intrigued me because, especially because of who I am. I have confusion of tongues. Exactly. That is the point. That is the point. That is the point. God said, oh, these motherfuckers are down here building a tower. They getting kind of high up in the sky. We gonna stop this shit right now. Languages. Throw it on them. Confusion of tongues. That is the point. And it does not make sense to me, again, for an omnipotent, all-knowing, all-powerful God. That should be a laughing matter, like she said in her original video. That should be a laughing matter to an almighty God. Oh, the little humans are down there talking about they're going to build a tower to come up here to the heavens because they want to make something of themselves. That's cute. Giving it the old hard try. I love that. That's cute for them. That's exactly what should have happened and just kept it pushing. That's exactly what should have happened. But again, this is why I say the God that they talk about in the Bible can't be a real person. It couldn't have been a real entity because if it was, why would he get upset about that and create different languages? If it was something that was not possible, why do it? Remember the ant video I sent you? I don't know. Somebody got it. Somebody got it. Come on now. And that brings me to another point. That brings me to another point. For an all-knowing, almighty, omnipotent God, if you know, right? If you know that you were the only God, why would you say, put no other gods before me and worship no false idols? That means that there had to, in fact, be other gods and other things to worship other than you. And you sound jealous. I'm sorry, God sounds like a 5-year-old having a temper tantrum, not getting their way. Because again, that's 2-3 things that I'm not understanding. If God is almighty and all-knowing, omnipotent, nobody should be able to faze you, especially your own creation. Especially your own creation. Hold on, I'm reading these comments. I think there are 2 gods, one of the earth and one of sources of all. I have a similar belief/theory. Yes, I do. If the ants got in a circle and started chanting for humans to help. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. It's just, it wasn't. The Old Testament God needed anger management. No, for real. He was something else. Like, he was just killing people left and right. He literally, like I said, he was a 5-year-old having a temper tantrum. Like, oh, how dare they not praise me? How dare they not give everything to me? Like, sir, you belong in a psych ward. You are mentally unstable. And I wish better for you. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. And people really get offended when I say that I don't believe in that sky daddy that they refer to. I don't. I'm sorry. And a lot of people may get offended by that. But this imaginary person that y'all talk about in this book, because that's what he is, imaginary. Now, again, it's not to say that I don't believe in some type of higher power, some type of higher being, some type of higher source, because obviously we're here. Like, I'm not dense. But a lot of what the Bible says and what Christians try to shove down everybody's throat, saying that it's the word of God and it's the truth and it's the only truth. No. And I just had a conversation with one of my good friends about this yesterday. Me and him were talking about it, and I was just like, at the end of the day, I don't fault anybody for having their religious beliefs. Don't misconstrue my words or misunderstand me. Everybody has a right to their beliefs and to practice said beliefs. However, shoving it down the next person's throat is not very Christ-like. And there is a difference between being Christian and Christ-like. There's a difference between being religious and righteous. And a lot of people don't understand that difference. There's a huge difference. And that's where the disconnect with me and religion comes in. I am not a religious person. I'm not. I practice an ATR, but I am not a religious person. I read the Bible, but I am not a religious person. I do believe and have a lot of similar, again, beliefs and ideologies and practices that Christ-like people would have. Yes. But I am not a Christian. I do not identify as a Christian. Yes, exactly. And that is exactly what I mentioned earlier in the live. God is within you. So like I said, it does not make sense to me when people want to sit up here and argue the writings of man versus going with the God within themselves. That does not make sense to me. Why would you argue about what God said? Like God said, I made you in my image. So therefore, you are God. You are a piece of God. So why would you go against the God within you to argue about the writings of man? That don't make no sense to me. They don't know they are God within yet. Exactly. They're so busy fighting something externally. And that's why I do not resonate with religion, because religion teaches you to look outside of yourself for healing, for guidance, for abundance, for connection, for God, like everything. Religion teaches you to go outside of yourself to find something when literally everything is within. You can find peace in yourself. You can find healing in yourself. You can find knowledge within yourself. Think about this. Why do you as an individual, because I'm sure everybody can resonate and or relate to what I'm about to say. There are certain things that are just instinctive that you just know. When you hear it, when you read it or come across something or you have a thought about it, you just know in your mind, body, and spirit that it is fact. And if you're like me, you're going to do some research to find to confirm the fact. There are certain things that I was not taught when it comes to the ATR that I practice, but I still do those practices correctly. And I have nobody teaching me certain things. Like it's instinctive. It is the God within you guiding you. It is the God within you providing the knowledge, giving you the tools, giving you that will push. Like, why don't people understand that? Why do people not understand that? When you get that gut feeling to do something, that is God. That is God. That is the God within you. That is your higher self, aka the God within you. Why go against that? Why go against that for the word of another man? I believe the God in me over a man all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. I do. I can't go based off of just what man says, the teachings of man, because what has man done? Let me down and disappoint me every time. Look at the historical context behind it. The blind lead the dumb. And we are. And that is part of the reason why women are not in positions of power. I prefer you believe in spirituality, not on believe. Exactly. And I just said that a minute ago. Yes, exactly. I am spiritual. I am not religious in the least bit, because religion makes you look outside of yourself for something, and not even just something, but everything that is inside of you. Religion makes you look outside of yourself for it. And that is what keeps you wandering. That's what keeps you coming back to the church. At the end of the day, I found God the moment that I decided to step outside of church. That's when I built the connection. That's when I found who God was, because that's when I figured out who I was. We are. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's why I'm just like, y'all are so busy searching high and low outside of yourself when all you got to do is dig deep inside. And that's what bothers me about a lot of these Bible thumping Christians. Y'all be sitting up here trying to throw a book at somebody and don't even read it your damn self to understand what you're throwing. You don't even know what the fuck you throwing at people. But yet you're throwing it. That don't make no sense. That makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. But when I say stuff like this, oh, you're demonic. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. If you say so. But again, nobody can answer that for me. Nobody can tell me that again, going back to the original topic at hand, the Tower of Babel, nobody can tell me that why I'm not understanding that text correctly and why I'm wrong. Nobody can tell me. Find that funny. There's a lot of hypocrisy behind it, but I don't know. I just wanted to come on live for a little bit and talk about that and see if I could get some type of intellectual response. And so far, the people who popped up have all agreed, like, no, you're right. Yeah, and that's the dumbest thing ever. That's the dumbest thing ever. What's the question specifically? So the last video that I just posted was in reference to one of my mutuals posting about the story in the Bible about the Tower of Babel. Again, I read it right here in Genesis 11, 1 through 9. I had to look at it. We were talking about that. So I did a duet to her video and somebody in the comments popped up and was like, oh, that's not what happened. Again, I literally read it right before I came on live. And it says it right here in 7. Go to, let us go down, and they are, and their language may not understand one another in speech. Exactly. It says it right there in Genesis 11:7. It says it right there that God made it to where people would not be able to understand each other to finish building this freaking tower. So what am I not understanding about the Tower of Babel and the story surrounding it? What am I not understanding? What am I misinterpreting? What am I not getting? Because I've been told this before. And again, the original creator, her video, her comment section, a lot of people, oh, that's not even what happened. You're just putting your spin on it. There's no spin. There is no spin. It says it right there. Where's the spin? Where's the twist? It doesn't make any sense. Where is the twist? Where am I misinterpreting the word of God? It says it right there. Oh yeah, I think it was written by King. I don't know. I just be trying to get an understanding, and I don't understand why people feel the need to be combative about what is in black and white. And then of course people want to say, oh well, God gives you free will. And I'm just like, okay, well, are you trying to say that God is not going to intervene because of free will? Because there's about over I don't know, just off the top of my head, 1,000 different examples in the Bible where God literally intervenes, but he only intervenes when it's dealing or pertaining to him not getting praise. You ever notice that? He's quick to off women and children, and apparently livestock and firstborns, for not getting what he wants. That is the only time that God intervenes. Even though there's free will and God is not supposed to intervene with free will, but yet Christians will sit up here and try to come up to you, oh, this is the word of God and you need to receive it. That's not free will. You trying to come over here and shove down my throat? That's not free will. It's not, it's going against your own teachings, isn't it? Hypocritical, isn't it? Thank you. And nobody can tell me what my interpretation is exactly. That is the reason why I absolutely love her series, The Bible Doesn't Make Sense, because it doesn't. And the way she's breaking it down is damn near the same way that I was breaking it down when I was asking the elders of the Kingdom Hall and the elders of the church, like, hey, help me understand. What am I not getting? So when people try to say, oh, and then they also want to sit up here and say stupid things like, oh, well, those weren't real Christians. You taking away or trying to say that they weren't real Christians, it's giving, oh, they weren't real parents. No, that's what they were. They were just bad. They were just bad parents. They were just bad Christians. That's what it is. Just like there's good people in this world, there are bad people in this world. And people who do things like that would, in my eyes, be bad Christians. Because you are not, again, practicing the teachings of Christ. That is what a Christian is supposed to be. Someone who practices the beliefs and practices of Christ. Being Christ-like. Most Christians, again, are not Christ-like. They are just Christians. They are not righteous. They are religious. There is a huge difference between the two. The Old and New Testament are mirrors of each other. Never heard anybody say it like that. That's interesting. You might make me make a video now. That's interesting. Look. Screenshot. Don't judge me. Because I might need to come back to that. That's a very interesting perspective. I appreciate that. See, this is what I'm talking about. Intellectual people bringing something to the conversation. Honey, Jesus was too nice because I'm sorry. And that's what bothers me so much about, again, Christians. Jesus was one of those people who loved people. He walked with any and all walks of life. He walked with the prostitutes. He walked with the poor. He walked with the lame. He walked with the people who walked with him. Like, he walked with all walks of life. So when Christians sit up here and pass judgment on people the way that they do, like, they are some of the most judgmental people I have ever freaking met. That's why I'm just like, you can't be a real Christian. According to them, you know what I'm saying? You can't be a real Christian. You can't be a good Christian. Exactly. And I can't wrap my mind around the stories that people bring up in the Bible saying, oh, this is what, you can't tell me this is what Jesus died for. You just can't. I'm sorry. This shit right here that's going on in the world, you can't tell me. And his mom watched. Nah, exactly. Because let it be my son. I don't care if he was, I don't care who or what he was. You ain't finna take my baby. You ain't finna take my child. What? Mm-mm. Now that I think about it, was that the first? No, that wasn't the first example, I'm sure. This is God we're talking about. He kills women and children for fun. Yeah, no. And if you're really doing spirituality, you should be a light for all Christians. Oh. Hey, I'm not very much liked by the Christian community, especially because of certain things that I said on my personal page a couple of years back. I'll probably pull those videos and put them on over here so they can be watched. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, certain things people just can't answer. People just try to come up with any other way to spin it because they accuse me of trying to spin it. But so far I've been right. Nobody can prove me wrong. And like Baby Girl said in the comments, how are you going to tell me what my interpretation is? Because last time I checked, did it not all? Is the Bible is also supposed to be left up to interpretation as well. So if that is the way that I interpret the Bible, it's not your job to prove otherwise. But since people want to have such a debate about it, I've been waiting for someone to bring something intellectual about their opposing viewpoint. And it has not happened yet. Of course, somebody's got to be the devil to them. And it's usually going to be me, and that's fine. I'll be that. I'm usually the villain in people's story, and that is perfectly fine because I challenge people in the way that they think. And just because I challenge your faith does not mean that I am wrong. Let me say that again. Just because I challenge your faith does not make me wrong. It just means you're triggered. And that is something that you need to take with you, yourself, and the person that you pray to, or the like thereof. It's that simple. Me having my interpretation and my understanding of not only this world, this universe, but this book is for me and whoever I pray to or the like thereof. It's not meant for people to argue amongst themselves about it. It's not. It was never the point. It was never the purpose either. So, but it is getting a bit late and I do have some early morning spiritual work that I need to be doing. Sunday is ancestor veneration. So I need to get up early. I need to go to the river. I need to get my offerings together. And plus, the day after tomorrow, well, I can't even say the day after tomorrow, because now it is 12 my time. It's the full moon, and I'm doing a full moon road opening ritual. Because we all know full moons are for releasing. So if you're trying to get some stuff off your chest, if you're trying to open up those roadways to abundance, to health, prosperity, love, protection, whatever you're looking for, now's the time to do it. Ashe, you know, girl. Yes, I am a Gemini. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Can I text you private? Actually, hit me up on my email. Go to the link in my bio. My website is on there. My email is at the bottom. Email me. I have like I'm not trying to brag or boast, but like I got like thousands of DMs from people. Some good, some bad, some I don't even want to fucking touch, you know. So I have no problem with, like I said, carrying a conversation on with people who are wanting to, or, wanting to have consultations or one-on-ones with me or whatever. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just prefer you email me. That way I can actually see it. Yes. My email is a lot more organized than neat. So please email me. Go to the link in my bio. Go to the bottom of my website. My email and contact information is there. So yes, that is perfectly fine. Y'all are more than welcome to reach out to me if y'all want me to, like I said, if you have something that y'all want me to cover, please comment it in the comment section. I don't even know. Do they still do the Q&A section on here? I don't know. But yes, leave it in the comments so I can see it if you want me to cover it in a video. If you want me to go over a different story in the Bible and, talk about it, break it down, give you my interpretation of it. Okay? Because I can't stress it enough. My understanding of it. I would love to do that. So like I said, give me some feedback. Let me know what y'all are thinking. But like I said, I am going to go ahead and get off of here because like I said, I have early morning spiritual work to attend to. And like I said, it's ancestor veneration. And the day after that, we are going to be doing this road opening ritual. And I got a lot to congregate with my ancestors about in regards to what I am wanting to open up the pathways for. So I'm going to read a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit more tonight before I go to sleep. And yeah, probably going to put this live up on my YouTube channel. So if you weren't able to catch all of it, you'll be able to catch the playback. Yeah. Catch the vibes over there. Yeah, yeah. And make sure you're following me here, okay? Because I have a lot of fake and scam accounts that are out there. Are you ready to write a chapter? Woo, baby. Might be. But yes. I'm probably going to put this, like I said, live up on my YouTube channel for other people to read. And like I said, just to get some more people in the conversation. People, they always got something to say in the comments. The Christians, they always the keyboard warriors in this in this fight. I'm trying to fight the good fight, So, yeah, I'm going to put this live up on my my YouTube to bring more attraction. Bring more people into the conversation. See if I can get a different perspective. Because like I said, baby girl left a good comment that's going to make me do some research. Definitely going to have to make a video based off of that. So thank you, girl. But again, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, guys. Again, make sure you're following my actual account here. Do not get scammed by these fake accounts that are impersonating me. They're trying to pull my content, pull stuff from my Instagram, impersonating me. Do not fall for them. I will never be in your DMs. I will never be in your comment section talking about spirit guided me to give you a reading. Would you like to get a read? No, that's a scammer. Whether it's me or any other divination worker or spiritualist, that is a scammer. We don't do that shit. Okay? What do you think about Haitian voodoo? It's an ATR that I study. I think that a lot of ATRs can, just because of the lack of let me put it like this. Due to the lack of factual information regarding ATRs, we as Black and or Africans have skewed viewpoints on it. And I personally don't see anything wrong with voodoo. I understand that it is a lifestyle and it takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and commitment and initiation. But I have I don't even think I've really scratched the surface on voodoo for real. Like I got a lot more studying to do. And I do have a close friend and mentor who is a voodoo practitioner. And baby, she bad. Baby, she bad. Like, she bad with it. Like, she ain't nothing to play with. And she's taught me a lot. She's given me a lot of information and helps me study a lot. And I appreciate that with her. Because whenever I have questions, she has no problem with answering. So, yeah, I just do my best to learn. And I'm still trying to figure out if I want to continue down the line of just being a root worker where I'm at, or if I eventually want to get to the point of initiation. Because right now in my life, I know that I'm not disciplined enough for initiation. I know I'm not. And I'm not even going to start something that I can't fulfill, especially in regards to spirits in my bloodline. I'm not going to disrespect them by saying I'm going to commit to something that I truly cannot. So, like I said, I still have to do a lot of studying, a lot of research, and soul searching for myself. Because, there's also one of them things where you don't want to go against your own bloodline. Like, I did that in my early years of understanding spirituality. I did that in my early years. And going against your own bloodline, that's a motherfucker, boy. It's a motherfucker. But anyway, like I said, I shared 1212. I'm finna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. So, like I said, shoot me that email. I got you. I'm gonna respond back to you, but I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here so I can go ahead and get some rest and get these kids to sleep. So, it sounds like they sleep though. They quiet. You're choosing by your ancestors. Exactly. That's the best way to go. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put this live up on my YouTube for anybody to be able to do the playback and, engage in the conversation and things like that. Bring up something maybe if you were here that you weren't able to get in the comments or whatever. But drink your water, mind your business, and stay prayed up and protected. And as always, Luna loves you. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.